And we're live.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yolanda, and this is Jara.
Hello.
We are coming to you. We are here with the pups, Toby and Hobbs, our fantastic golden doodle therapy dogs.
Amazing. Amazing dogs.
Aren't they awesome?
They are.
They can be a little stinkers sometimes, but I guess I can be too.
They're sweet. I can't see anything wrong with them.
Just wait.
Yeah.
So, we are here with the boys today. We are coming with some tips.
Yes.
So we are passionate about helping you in your relationship, helping you to connect more deeply in your marriage. And Jara has some really wonderful tips on, listening. Oh my gosh.
Listening. So part of the main foundation of a relationship is based on communication. How we speak to our partners, how we listen to our partners. So today, we're going to start with the listening part. It's the art of listening.
The art of listening. And a lot of times when people call in for marriage counseling, one of their goals is that they want to improve their communication. That's what we hear primarily, right?
Yes.
So the communication isn't just the talking, it's the listening. And I would say that the listening is even more important. But again, that kind of circles back to the vulnerability piece that we've talked about, because
being able to put yourself out there and to express what you want to express, but also to listen. Not only the words that are coming out from your partner's mouth, but what's the meaning behind it? What's the body saying? All of that. We're gonna touch upon those little topics.
And this is a nice follow-up, too, from our conversation that Shaman and I had last time about our tips about communication from the divorce boat, and how hearing our partner's perspective is part of that, and listening is a key component. So what is tip number one as far as building our listening skills?
I think we have to start with the simple fact of making eye contact. When we speak to one another, the words are important, but also what is the body showing? Just giving your partner the complete attention of, I am looking at you. I am looking at your face, the twitch of your mouth. I'm looking if your arms are crossed, if you're open for conversation. I'm looking at how your body is expressing itself when they're speaking. So making eye contact, giving that person the moment of day, making them feel like they are the only person in the room, in the world, at that moment makes a difference.
Yeah, but super vulnerable and very intimate. Eye contact is very intimate. Right?
Yes, it is. It requires our defenses to lower. And sometimes we're not ready for that. But with practice, with lots of practice, you can eventually get there.
Yeah, and it shows your partner that they're, like you said, like they're the priority, and that you're in this moment with them.
Yes.
And you can see where they are in the moment, how receptive they are. This says a lot more than this. Says a lot more
than even the words that come out. Yes. So that would be my pointer number one, is the importance of eye contact when you're looking at the person while you're speaking. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
My second pointer is, some people call it the bobblehead, but I call it showing understanding. When someone is speaking, just letting them know, either nod your head, say yes, okay, I hear that, oh wow. Just making the other person feel that they're being heard.
Right. And it takes those little moments, because otherwise, how many times have we been talking to someone and you're thinking, are they hearing anything that's coming out of my mouth?
And you don't realize maybe they have their headphones on. Right. And you're just talking and expressing, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, were you talking to me? Were you speaking to me? So yes, just being connected in a way that the other person knows that they are being heard. And it can be just a nod of the head, or like that hurt, or I feel you, I hear you, just those simple phrases. The third one, listen without thinking. It's not a political debate. You don't have to be thinking about the answer you're going to give your partner. Just listen with an open mind, and that's hard.
It's super hard. And, a lot of times I have to kind of be aware when I'm doing that because I think a lot of our tendencies to kind of fall into that space. Mm-hmm. We're kind of conditioned to do that in our society. We don't have a lot of practice of just being present and like hearing. And, maybe that means that as you're talking to your partner, you don't have an immediate response, but that's okay, right? It's better to actually be hearing mm-hmm. what your partner is trying to communicate verbally, non-verbally, without all of that stuff swirling around in your head.
Yes, and when we're listening without thinking about the response, we can actually listen, be present, understand what our partner is trying to say. If we're already thinking, oh, I'm going to respond to this or I'm going to respond that way, you stopped listening and you just started going in your brain, this is my to discuss, my to do, this didn't happen this way, this didn't happen that way. This is where I'm
right and they're wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's where it shifts from being together mm-hmm. and being communication to I'm in it to prove my point and to win, right? Yeah. And if there's a winner, that means that there's a loser, right?
And where there are winners and losers, there's pain, there's resentment. Mm-hmm. And that when it builds up, it just implodes the relationship.
Yeah. So a lot of times I think when couples say they want to be able to communicate better, it's that piece mm-hmm. that they want to be able to improve. They want to be heard. They want to know that their partner is hearing them without coming up with a response or reply.
Yeah. And just put yourself in their shoes for a second. Wouldn't you like to be heard, completely mm-hmm. heard and listened? Instead of knowing that they're already planning in their head the response.
And honestly, it's just rude. It's just rude.
Yes. Let's be kind. And then the last pointer for today, because we're going to divide this in a few lives.
So this is 1.0.
Yes.
And then we'll have a 2.0, the expert edition.
Yes.
The advanced edition.
We need that. It is so needed, and we think we're good at it, but it always requires practice. So the last pointer for today is create an environment that is conducive for communication and listening. And that means if you're cooking, turn off the stove because the conversation can take a while and you don't want whatever it is on the stove to burn. It can mean turning off the TV or lowering the volume of the TV, the social media, the computer, the phone. Mm-hmm. You are going to think that I am against phones. I am not. I really am not. I love my phone.
But it serves a purpose, but we also want to recognize when it's not helpful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And if your partner is trying to communicate something to you, it is kind of rude to just have the phone and be checking and, I hear you. Maybe you are one of those talented multitaskers that can look at the phone and listen to music and listen to a conversation. However, creating the environment mm-hmm. for an excellent listening moment requires just putting those things away for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. And recognizing the impact that they have. Mm-hmm. If I'm going to dinner at a restaurant and there are TVs in the restaurant, I know, even if what's on TV I could care less about, mm-hmm. just my attention is automatically diverted.
Yes.
So I, need to be intentional in those environments to sit in the seat away from the television or mm-hmm. be in the part of the restaurant where that's not as much of a distraction. So that's really important because, we want to be seen and heard in our relationships and we want our partners to be seen and heard. And that's part of it. Yeah.
And that's why you're reaching out is to know that other person is on the same page with you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it can be a very simple conversation. Sometimes they're just heavy, deep conversations. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just going through the grocery list, listening actively with them at that moment is great. And my grandmother always told us, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you're supposed to listen twice as much as you speak. And I think if you forget everything or anything that we spoke about today, just remember that. 2 ears to listen, 1 mouth to speak. That should be the basic
101.
101 for
Awesome.
the art of listening.
Awesome. So, friends, Jara is here to help guide you with her expert skills to connection and improve communication in your relationship. We would be happy to offer a free consultation to see if Harper Therapy would be a good fit for you in your relationship improvement. Give us a call at 813-434-3639 and stay tuned for
Part two.
Part two. All right. Have a
great
one.
one.
Bye.